you know about Greek myth, Nick?
I know 3 things about the Greeks. 1, very bisexual. Great times. Great orgies. The leisure club at uni, they'd love them. They'd wear those togas and be all like, it's Greek.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get this.
Second thing I know about the Greeks, love their gods. Love Greek mythology. Absolutely love them. Second thing about Greek mythology that I know is nothing. I know very little about it.
Let me ask you a more refined question, Nick. Hey everyone, welcome to Jojo's World, a Jojo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. I'm Liam S. Smith, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Nick Ballantyne, the other one of the co-hosts.
Which Greek myth, Nick, do you know of that involves a boulder?
Oh, Sisyphus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good chums with him.
What do you know about Sisyphus, Nick?
Well, I know that he was punished for something...
Sisyphus was a famous trickster.
Was he?
Yeah, and he even outwitted death, or Hades, or whoever,
Yeah.
such that everyone stopped dying. And they caught him, and they punished him forever by making him push a boulder up a hill.
Oh, I thought he was the one that took, like, Prometheus's flame or something.
No, that was like Theseus or something.
Oh, alright, sure. I'll believe that.
Hades, available now on all video game retailers.
Okay. It's a good segue to go into Jojo's with.
Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
But you know what's a better segue?
Better segue.
Is our Patreons.
Patreon.com/Jojo's World.
Of which we have a new one.
A new one, you say. You come into my house, you tell me we've got a new patron.
You're goddamn right.
Well, you better have the evidence to back that up, Nick.
I do. I have it written down right here.
Why don't you go through the court record and present the appropriate bit of evidence?
Ahem.
Take that!
Their name being, of course, Riley Dickinson.
Riley Dickinson, as I live and breathe. This truly is an auspicious meeting.
If you came here thinking you could get away with that, you've got something to learn.
Weird energy
Dickinson.
in the room today. It's an afternoon record, it's unusual.
It's very weird and it's very warm.
Quite warm. Got quite warm quite quickly.
It's very humid, very
That
fragrant.
classic Australian... Are you calling my room fragrant?
I think I'd call it nice and fragrant, yeah? Why not?
That classic Australian summer.
Fragrant summer.
We love Australian summer. We love the beach and the cricket and going around to the lad's house for a chew sneaky snags.
A thing we can no longer do thanks to COVID, but you know
We're in
what?
a pretty good position.
Yeah, in Perth we are.
Exactly.
Yeah, in Perth we are, yeah.
We're recounting our lived experiences.
I'm not. I still stay indoors at all times.
I'm Liam S. Smith, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Ballantyne, the other one co-host.
This is Jojo's World, our Jojo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. But today we are recapping and discussing Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
Praise be, my God.
A little anime that could. Could what?
I don't know. What could it do, Liam?
Well, it could be produced in the year 2001.
Could it just?
Yes, the original video animation.
But that's insanity.
Whatever it stands
How
for.
could it possibly
I will
be
not
produced? What?
ever look up what that acronym stands for.
What?
That's the Jojo's World Guarantee.
Which acronym?
OVA.
We already know what it stands for. You literally recited what it stood for last week.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know.
You've already forgotten it in a week's time.
I just said the same thing.
Did you?
Yeah, you were not listening.
No, I wasn't. I pay attention on this show.
And the moral of the story is...
Yeah.
Jojo's Bizarre Adventure is a show about Jotaro Kujo, Jean-Pierre Polnareff, making his animated debut in this week's episode.
Oh my God.
No, that's not a lie. He had a brief...
That's not a lie?
That's not a lie, but it's also not the truth. Because he did have a foreshadowed appearance in the final shot of the previous episode, Hierophant Green.
That is true. That is true. He was looking very
But
strange.
he didn't say or do anything.
How he got onto where he got onto in that span of time, I don't know.
If you haven't heard this podcast before, it's not always like this. It's usually better.
This is the ultimate... No, trust me. This never happens.
But also, if you haven't heard this podcast before...
This is exactly what it's like every episode.
If you haven't heard this podcast before, several months ago we did the first couple of episodes of the 2001 era JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OVAs. Now, having watched Baccano for a while, we're returning to the next couple of episodes.
How long has it been? Like 4 months?
Yeah, maybe.
Man, it's been a long time since we watched JoJo's. Where the hell is part 6? Why is David Productions not giving me part 6 right now?
Really hard to produce animation in a pandemic, I expect. Hard to get over to Florida and the United States for site visit research stuff.
I mean...
Because that, let me tell you, that place is a mess right now.
Oh yeah. But why can't they just put that deep in my veins such that the sweet blood-brain barrier breaks down with Jojo stand energy. Why can't they just do that? Liam?
Anyway, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Strength and Silver Chariot.
Strength and Silver Chariot.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me grab the synopsis for this.
2001.
An auspicious year, if ever there was one.
A year we'll never forget, but also never remember.
And the reason we'll never forget that year is, of course, because that is the year that Isaac and Maria of Barkano finally realised that they were immortal.
And it brought them such pain. Such terrible, terrible pain.
I don't believe I mentioned on our last episode, Nick, but a listener, after we talked about Durarararara.
Yep. Is the right number of R's?
I don't care.
Okay. Go on.
A listener got it at me on Twitter, let me know that Durararara ostensibly takes place in the same universe as Barkano.
How? How could it take what?
There are a couple of characters, I don't know the details in this, because as I said last time, I haven't watched this other show. There are a couple of characters who are apparently alluded to be descendants of Barkano characters. And also, there are some Isaac and Maria cameos.
What?
I'm assuming just in group shots or whatever.
Oh, okay. So not like integral to the plot or anything.
I don't think so. Nick is shaking his head ruefully.
I would absolutely continue having Isaac and Maria being plot core characters.
Plot core.
Plot core characters.
Nick, describe the genre of music plot core.
It's basically where you're sitting
No, shut
down.
up, I've got this.
Oh.
Okay. It is garage rock.
Yep.
But it is narrative ballads.
So what you're saying is it's minstrels.
No, but it's garage rock.
The garage rock.
Yeah.
Like surf rock garage rock? Or
I
like
don't know what that is.
So like are we saying like cool licks that are just like down 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 down
No, like
Nirvana-y.
just like garage band rock.
But what is that?
Like just like generic rock.
Like Creed?
No, just like really like lo-fi, low budget, basic. 4 lads in the garage playing a guitar, a bass, a drum kit, and vocals, and they name their band, just pulling something purely out of my imagination. I'm going to go ahead and say The Fall of Man.
Oh, I see.
No.
My old band.
No, not that sort of music. That was like metal or something, wasn't it?
Yes, it was thrash metal.
Silver Chariot and Strength. On the way to Egypt, the Stardust Crusaders encounter a freighter with only 2 passengers, an orangutan and Jean-Pierre Polnareff, both stand users.
Well, that's a bit of a plot
So
spoiler.
people who have only seen 2000s era JoJo's Bizarre Adventure animation, 48 episode Stardust Crusaders,
Yep.
can probably already pick up that that's a significant difference in the plot structure.
Yes. I mean, even from when Polnareff was looking in on the plane, that was a bit different.
Yeah, because what was he doing in Japan, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And here is the synopsis on the back of the DVD box that an enterprising listener sent us many moons ago.
I don't even know how long ago it was, but some time ago, yeah.
Jotaro and his comrades board a private jet heading to Egypt. Suddenly, the engine bursts into flames and the jet is forced to land in the ocean. As they drift in a lifeboat, a mysterious large freighter appears. They waste no time in boarding the freighter, and much to their surprise, they find the only other passengers aboard are an orangutan and a Frenchman.
I mean, that literally is the plot of the entire episode.
But it doesn't tell you how it plays out.
Oh.
You see, I read that. I've never watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure before. And like, an orangutan and a Frenchman on a freighter? This I've got to see.
What could their dynamic possibly be?
Well, it turns out that they don't really interact at all, but other than in one crucial moment that I think I'm already willing to cold shot as my highlight. Were it not for one other particularly new moment in this episode.
I mean, I don't even know if I can say that's my highlight given a few other bits that happened, but go on.
So, Nick, overall impressions.
Okay, the middle bit, I think we can both agree, not that great.
I think so.
Not really feeling that vibe from what we want
I'm
from
assuming you're
JoJo's.
talking about Avdol and Polnareff's throwdown.
Yes, that entire bit where we're just like, this has a strangely calm...
This is like the one we've seen before, and that one had its flaws, but this one is also...
worse.
Yeah.
And more boring.
I mean, the Polnareff and Avdol stand battle is not great in general. But this one also suffered from, older animation techniques that sort of robbed it of the dynamic speed that Polnareff kind of relies on.
But even then, like, the animation's fucking rad.
Oh yeah, like it's high quality stuff, but just like, because I'm assuming it probably wasn't especially computerized at the time.
They couldn't nail down that timing and all that.
High velocity,
Yeah.
cinematic, intense, visceral action. Nick, give me
However-
some more game review buzzwords.
Oh, you know, it made me really feel like I was being attacked by a big red bird that could control fire with all the energy of an enthusiastic Egyptian man.
I didn't really get any buzzwords in that, Nick.
Well, I mean, all of that was IGN content. I mean, that's...
So,
Yes.
everyone is on the Speedwagon Foundation private jet.
How... Yep, go on, yes.
This is different from the manga and the anime.
Which we know they were on a public flight.
And all those people died.
Yes. But, you know, whatever. The boys were fine, so that's fine.
They're all sitting on the plane, just glancing at each other meaningfully, and Avdol comes and sits with Joseph and is like, "Now, Joseph, I know you're scared of flying
I am.
because of what happened 50 years ago.
Yes. I am still scared, yes.
Well, don't worry, because we've got 50 days to fight Dio.
Okay, but I still don't like planes.
Yeah, well, tough it out, old man."
No, fuck you, Avdol.
Then everyone's like, Dio. No, we hate him.
Good grief.
Great googly moogly. Then the engine explodes.
So this is also different.
Yeah, as opposed to Tower of Grey killing the pilots and causing a plane crash.
This is just
I guess we're to assume Polnareff sabotaged it.
maybe?
Because he was there when they took off, and he wasn't on the plane.
But how did he get to the freighter?
I was just going to ask you that,
Yeah.
Nick, because, even accounting for both of their mutual ghost powers, the jet's still a lot faster than a freighter.
Yeah. So how did he get... Anyway, doesn't matter. We all know magic is real.
Yeah.
So the plane, it gets an engine and it's bad.
Nick, do
it's
you
real bad.
Do you remember what the progression of events was between getting on the plane and getting on the ship in the anime?
In this one?
No, in the other one.
In the other one. Okay. So I remember... Yikes.
Let's go, they all say, and they stand in that iconic pose where they're
Oh,
all putting
yes. All four of them are like...
hip
bam.
to pelvis.
Yep. And then they hop on the plane.
Yep.
There's the fight with Tower of Grey.
Yep. Kakyoin wins,
Kakyoin wins.
but
and
at
he does-
what cost?
And he does a huge, like, giant attack that's like, oh my god, amazing, Kakyoin, you're our friend.
I sure am.
And then they crash the plane?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the pilot's are dead.
Yep. None of that happens here. Mm-hmm. That's as much as I remember.
Okay. Then they went to Singapore, and they hung out in Singapore for a while and met Polnareff.
I thought the ship happened...
Or was it Hong Kong? Must have been Hong Kong because of geography.
I thought the ship happened before they went to Singapore.
No, because they had Polnareff. So you are right. It was before Singapore because they
Yep.
had Polnareff in Hong Kong.
Right, okay. Gotcha. Not the other way around.
Do you want me to check my geography, Nick? It is famously bad of me.
Sure, I'll have you check if Hong Kong is south of, Singapore.
Well, I know that Hong Kong is to the north. It's just that matter of whether it's to the north and the west or the north and the east, which will determine their route.
Ah, you're right.
Maybe.
I still don't know. I still don't know what's happening.
And you never will, Nick.
I never ever will.
Because you're a coward.
You're a coward who headbutts
I'm
sound
mean today.
Maybe this is just the heat. This is what happens
Yeah,
every time it gets warm.
I'm cranky.
Why are you so cranky, Liam?
Of course, Matt Mercer is the English voice of Jotaro Kujo in the 2012 Stardust Crusaders.
But who's the English voice in the 2001 OVA of Stardust Crusaders, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as directed by the Evangelion director, who I can't remember the name of?
Shiruba Chariotsu.
What?
Silver Chariot.
Sharuba. Just Sharuba.
Hey, Shiruba, baby.
I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but Sharuba. I just like to...
It's got a good mouthfeel.
I'd like to really
Listen,
get it.
why don't you say it?
Listen, on a 3, 2, 1, Sharuba. Like, listen to that. Hello and welcome to Hotel Sharuba.
You can check out anytime you like.
Can I make a production company called Sharuba Productions?
I wish you wouldn't.
Look, this is
Silver
what...
Chariot Part 1, originally the dangerous lunchtime. Just wanted to get that in there.
Okay.
Okay, defeating Tower of Grey. Mm-hmm. Group finds themselves in Hong Kong.
Ah, there you go.
There they meet Polnareff.
Right.
And they fight Polnareff. Mm-hmm. And then they pull out his flesh bud.
Yep. Which he doesn't have anymore in this one.
That's right.
Yep. For some reason.
Just, it was too complicated.
It was too much. You can't have another flesh bud person.
Yeah, just make him a compulsive trader.
Yeah. That's never going to come up again, ever.
Yep. So they do that. Then they get on the Speedwagon Foundation boat, but the captain is secretly Captain Tennille, who has Dark Blue Moon or Deep Blue Moon or whatever it's called.
Okay.
They kill him with Starfinger underwater.
Okay. I forget that fight, but okay, continue.
It's not a very memorable one.
Yep.
But it's the one where and then the runaway girl Anne stows away aboard the ship.
Ah, yes. Sweet, sweet Anne.
Yeah.
Sweet, delicious human
Okay,
flesh Anne.
let's not with that.
Sweet, cookable, put her on a roast Anne.
So I don't remember why, but I guess that boat must sink.
I don't know.
Because they end up in the life rafts. Much like at the start of this episode.
Yeah.
To get picked up by
Strength. The big orangutan times.
Yeah, the big orangutan times. Gotta say, much prefer the OVA's depiction of the orangutan.
I mean, you, by the end of it, were so on board with the orangutan.
Yeah, so they're all like, oh, the engine's on fire. What are we gonna do?
I guess we're gonna crash the plane.
Joseph runs up to the cockpit and is like, what's going on? We're losing altitude. Get back to your seat.
Please, stay calm.
And then I really liked how we saw the plane crash. Like, we saw it over the pilot's shoulders, looking through the, like, windshield of the plane. Just seeing the huge, like, rush of water coming up.
And it's like, oh dear.
Yeah, and then we tastefully cut away to when they're all in the life raft.
They have a single lantern to provide warmth
Yep.
and light.
And they're signaling with their distress signal somehow.
In the subtitles, it said they'll see our distress signal.
They'll hear our distress.
They'll hear our distress signal and then come for us.
So I can only assume they have a radio or something.
I thought so as well, but we never saw it or hear it.
No.
In fact, when strength eventually arrives after they have a very brief kind of like,
I guess we're not out of luck yet.
don't worry, I'm feeling good. Sun rises.
A ship, get the signal.
They shoot a flare up, which obviously the ship must hear because then they lower.
They're not
the
talking
ramp.
about the same signal, Nick.
We don't know that!
The ramp is lowered.
Obviously also a ladder, but that's neither here nor there.
They're all like, very curious. The ramp was lowered, but there's no one there.
Alright. Everyone split up to investigate.
Yeah, so they all get up on deck. This is like the funniest part of the episode. They're all standing on the empty deck because there's no one here. Should we take a look around? Just like the Mary Celeste that disappeared in Bermuda.
Is there anyone here? Here.
Yeah, Echo. And we see various different rooms.
And then,
So it's like an overhead shot of them all. And I think it was Joseph says,
including the two captains.
the pilots.
Sorry, the two pilots.
Yep. Who are,
Captain and co-captain.
please, Nick, as if there could ever be two captains.
Look, when you're flying a plane, we all know there's one in charge, one behind.
One co-in charge.
Come on now, you can't have two captains.
That
That's
would
why.
be anarchy.
That's why we don't have two hosts.
That would be max anarchy.
Shit, that's a good name for a D&D character.
It's a video game.
Is it? Oh shit, you're right. Oh, this reference just went downhill real fast, Liam. Downhill
We
real
came up
fast.
with two good D&D character names recently. Listeners, feel free to work that into your own games.
Okay.
First one is Damascus Steel.
Oh, very
The
nice.
second one is Roman Concrete.
Roman concrete,
Yeah.
less good. Definitely less good. Damascus steel I might steal for myself.
In any case, let's investigate the ship. And then they were like, huh. And they all ran off in different directions.
And not even like walking, like we're overemphasizing, they run off.
And they, like, if
Sprinting away.
If they were all, like, if a compass was on the ground beneath them, they would all run across on different headings. It's very Scooby-Doo. Let's split up and search for clues.
Very like Benny Hill style.
Ring, Mr. Roaster.
And they're just flying off all different
Jojo goes
directions.
to the kitchen and makes himself a big sandwich.
Avdol goes down to the engine room and is like, "Where's the clues?"
Kakyoin runs through a long hallway with a bunch of different doors.
Just being all like, "It's not this one. It's not this one."
So we do get a bit of a search montage, and unless I'm mistaken, everyone splits up into groups of 2 or 3, and then Kakyoin just goes off by himself.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I'd be willing to believe that.
So like Kakyoin opens just like some random room. Joseph and Jotaro go to
The bridge?
Yeah, not the bridge, the like steering room.
The bridge.
I feel like there's 2 different things.
The bridge.
There's the bridge
is-
and there's like the steerage room.
What the hell is the steerage room?
Ships.
What? Yeah, ships have a bridge where you navigate from, where the steering is. Have you not seen Star
Oh,
Trek?
I'm mistaken. Steerage is the part of a ship providing the cheapest accommodation for passengers.
Think of it like the caboose, but for people.
Oh, it's the bit where all the pilots hang out.
Exactly. And it's at the back of the ship for some insane fucking reason.
We're going to carry that one with us.
We really are.
Look, Jotaro. How could they have seen our flare with all this muck on the windows?
And then it zooms out. We see there's a whole bunch of like
Grease.
grease and mist, I guess, on the windows. And Jodo is just,
So they find a room, they're looking around, and Kakyoin runs in like, is something wrong?
and they're all like, there has to be something
We
wrong.
heard a noise.
A noise? Why don't we investigate it?
Let's all get together and investigate.
So they all get together. I believe the captain, the other captain, Joseph.
co-captain.
Yep. Joseph, Jotaro, not Avdol?
I believe he was there,
Oh, okay.
but I could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
And there's an orangutan in a cage, like we know from Strength.
Of course, because we've already seen this before.
Look at that big monkey. No, Mr. Joestar.
Says Kakyoin.
As if he's speaking to a child. This is an orangutan.
Can't be an orangutan, it's a monkey.
He looks sinister. He's got a big orangutan grin.
God, I didn't even notice it when we were watching, but he has like weird tattoos on his head.
No, that's just markings. Just markings.
Yeah, tattoos.
And then he silently, because he's an orangutan, taps the lock on his cage. Tap, tap, tap.
Oh, the big monkey must want to get out of the cage.
And then he just picks up a book and starts reading it. We don't see that he has a... This depiction of Forever, which is of course the orangutan's name,
Yep. This rendition of Orangutan A. Yep.
is of course vastly superior because they have excised him being like a pervert and possible pedophile.
Instead, he just reads a
just reads a
nondescript book.
Book with a purple. You see in the original, the reason they couldn't redistribute these OVAs is because in the original draft, the orangutan was reading the Quran.
Jesus Christ.
So you remember the story that there's a shot of Dio reading the Quran in...
Is there?
Yeah, which is why post 9/11 they ceased distribution of this for a long time.
Oh, I
That was
see.
me callbacking to that. I wasn't making some remark
Oh,
about...
okay.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like, wow,
I wasn't getting spicy.
that's a very spicy meme. Okay.
Co-pilot walks up and is like, ha ha, pretty smart for a monkey. I'll warrant.
He's pretty fly for a monkey.
Be careful. He's got 5 times the strength of a human.
And then he recoils back going, I don't want him to rip off my arm.
Well, there must be somebody around to care for this orangutan.
Hey, that's a good point, Jotaro. There must be someone around to care for
Let's
this.
go. And then as they leave, we get cut away to the bridge.
Ghost Bridge.
Yeah, where levers are pulling themselves. It's all very
Movement.
Luigi's Mansion.
Physics on all
And
objects.
then like pistons start pistoning.
Avdol and Captain Man, who apparently weren't in the orangutan room, but are still in the engine room, are like, magic, movement, things.
Sorcery. And they look up at the smudged window of the bridge, and there's the unmistakable silhouette of the orangutan behind a window.
But we don't know that yet, Liam.
Get up there, and he's gone.
There's no one there.
So this is a ghost ship.
And Joseph's like, don't be fucking ridiculous, Jotaro.
Then all the power goes out. Wow, this ship is dangerous, they say.
They all reconvene on the
deck.
The deck, yeah, the big open area.
Let's go look at this marvelously appointed dining room that we haven't been in yet.
They walk into a room. There's music playing as well.
There's a feast, there's chandeliers,
There's food,
candelabras,
There's food, there's drink,
there's
pudding.
desserts.
There's
It's like a pavlova.
strange, like star-shaped food
There's
as
a
well.
jukebox.
An old-timey jukebox.
And there's plenty of food for them all. So, do you remember the the anime/manga equivalent of this scene?
No.
They are in a Chinese restaurant in Hong Kong, and there's some back and forth about like Polnareff dining with them or paying for their bill or something. And then he's
vaguely,
like,
yeah.
"By the way, I'm an evil stand user." And then, much like in this episode, Silver Chariot bursts out of one of the dishes.
Yes, I do remember that
Yeah.
because it's just in like
He,
a cup or something.
They clearly just wanted to recreate that get out of like the big vat of soup moment. So they just put him at this random banquet table on the ship.
For no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, just having his own private feast.
So there's two things. One, Polnareff is here now.
Yeah, he's sitting shadowed in the darkness, and he clicks his fingers, and the light comes on.
So this is the second thing. How is he controlling the ship?
Maybe he set up a signal with the orangutan that when I click my fingers, turn the lights on. It'll be cool.
We're like this, I say, crossing my fingers.
Yeah, me and Forever, fast friends.
You know, when I saw
Fast
him,
enough, in fact, to take over the speed of your private jet that got you here so that I could get on the ship.
how fast is that? The speed of friendship. Yep.
Yep.
So Polnareff is like, well,
Bonjour, Monsieur Joestar.
how did you know my fucking name?
He's got wine. He's blonde, and I don't like it.
How can you not like his blondness? It's almost grey. That's what I say about all blonde people. They're almost grey.
I don't really like the design of his face.
No.
It just looks off.
Multiple times.
Everyone looks different, but Polnareff just looks off.
I mean, Polnareff at multiple instances looked weird in this episode.
Also, his broken heart earrings aren't so much broken hearts as like
Broken circles.
apple halves.
It's a strange,
Curious.
Anyway, they all look like real
So
people.
Kakyoin steps forward and goes, "You," as if he recognizes him, but then Joseph just pushes him aside and is like, "I barely expected to see a Frenchman on this ship."
You know what I didn't expect to see aboard this giant marine vessel? A man from France.
How did you know that I'm Mr. Joestar? And he pulls a star-shaped bit of food on a fondue fork.
Now, I asked you, what the fuck is this food?
Impossible to tell.
But, like,
It's pink.
it's pink.
It's a
It is
little
shaped...
mini Patrick from SpongeBob.
No, it's a perfectly shaped star.
Yep.
Like you know when a child draws a star?
Given that it's on a fondue fork,
Yeah.
and there's a big bowl of mysterious yellow substance on the table,
Go on.
I'm going to guess that it's like bread or biscuit for dipping into the fondue.
But it's floppy.
Yep.
Like it comes from something wet, like a soup.
Or loose bread.
Loose bread.
So much loose bread in his pockets.
Tell me, how did you know? You see this loose bread, Joestar?
I followed the crumbs.
What crumbs? And they look behind them. Kakyoin, what have you been doing?
I left trail so we wouldn't get lost.
This isn't Hansel and Gretel, Kakyoin.
The orangutan
This is
ate all the
JJBA.
tracks and they got lost.
Oh no. It's the classic Hansel and
Cool,
Gretel
like a
twist.
mid-screen game recognized game eye contact cut where it looks like it's being torn down the center like a piece of paper.
Like a broken page.
Yeah.
That's how what you do with pages, you break them.
Another one of Dio's assassins, and everyone forms up behind Joseph, just like gradually like vibrating out.
It's pretty fucking rad, not gonna lie.
Silver Chariot bursts out of the big yellow soup fondue dish.
Joseph is taken aback, but is not hurt.
Well, he is only not hurt because it stabs through his robotic hand.
True that.
And in fact, later at the end of the episode, that wound is still there, and you've got to appreciate the consistency.
But not in his glove.
I have to pay for these, man!
These are not
I'm not
cheap.
made of robot hands.
Do you think the Speedwagon Foundation just makes these now? Well,
They're
yes,
all
but
ancient Nazi tech. There's only so many of them left.
it's just like Wolfenstein, but we're the good guys.
Silver Chariot design. A lot of gold plating. Kind of like it.
Yeah, it's a lot more,
It pops a bit more.
yeah. Well, I mean, not in terms of the color palette, because everything is very
But in terms
subdued,
of just the design of Chariotta.
It's just a little bit more buff. Until it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this happens in both versions. Still don't understand the clock made out of fire that Polnareff redirects.
Liam, you're not a real JJBA
Redirects
fan.
Avdol's attack into with his sword, such that it hits the table, knocks it over, and makes a perfect clock shape.
We all know that all good JJBA fights have a clock in some
I
way.
think what he's trying to say is that even though the whole table is on fire,
Yep.
it will burn up from the base.
Yep.
And then by the time the burning burns away the 12, he'll kill Avdol.
I think this is just
But
meant to be.
the whole table is on fire.
I just thought this is meant to be by the time the hand moves around because we're dealing
That
with
is the natural
magic,
reading
yeah.
of the sentence.
Yeah.
But how could it be?
How can it possibly work?
You're quite a formidable swordsmanship, sir.
What?
You're quite a formidable swordsmanship, sir.
You're quite a formidable swordsmanship.
No, you're quite a formidable swordsmanship, sir. Because we're on a ship. Yeah, I brought that one back.
Okay, yeah, I'm willing to thread that
You
needle.
can't deny that's not what I said.
You know, when you're right, Liam, you're right. I cannot refute that is a correct statement.
But to kill me by the time the clock burns 12, don't you think you're being... Okay, direct quote.
Yes.
Don't you think you're being too vain, man from France?
Now, see, this might be my highlight.
Avdol, possibly francophobic.
Well, I mean, they're all francophobic. Everyone's racist in this show.
My greeting is overdue. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jean-Pierre Polnareff.
Jean-Pierre
And then
Polnareff.
zoom in on his face. Polnareff.
Jean-Pierre Polnareff.
Merci beaucoup. My sincere... They're just talking. My sincere thanks for your self-introduction. You want to have a magic fight? The lower half of the table has already burned away. Oh, like, yeah, he gestured with Magician's Red and, like, half the table collapsed. My flame was not ordinary flame. Quote, because it can control fire at will, my stand is called Magician's Red.
Yeah,
That tracks.
I don't see any problem with that sentence whatsoever. What's your issue with that sentence?
Like, Magician's Red, the name does not itself imply pyrokinesis.
Of course it does. What else would Magician's Red do? Anything.
Go fast.
And literally any other power.
Okay, so he does that thing where he's like, you dare to call me vain about my swordplay? Watch me throw these coins into the air. See, I feel like this made more sense in the restaurant context, because it's like the coins to pay for the meal, you know?
Yeah.
But he's just like, throw the coins in the air and stab them all and then catch the fire. Oh, so impressive.
Wow, that's not vain at all.
Amazing.
Is vain the opposite of hubris? Or
No, I'd say they're similar.
I mean, not hubris. Humility? Or is hubris the
I'd
opposite
say
of
they're
humility?
almost opposites.
Okay, cool. So your vanity so in order not to show vanity, you try to show how cool you are with a bunch of coins that can catch fire.
I think he's trying to demonstrate, like, oh, I'm not just all talk. Watch me stab fire with my sword.
Why not just stab Avdol?
Well, he tries in a little bit and it doesn't quite go according to plan, does it?
Oh, now that's some JJBA energy.
Yeah. I can cut fire. You are powerless against me. And I like how he's talking, like, in profile to them, and then angry Silver Chariot is, like, looming, making direct eye contact. Like, oh, yeah, I'll fuck you up, Avdol.
Look, I've got my big angry eyes. I've got my
Big
sunken
gold
features.
sword. Gold, famously burnable now. And then he's behind them all of a sudden, like, when did he? And then he's like, nothing personal, kid. Stab. No, he's like, let's go outside because
Look, we all know.
use your true power. We're not going to go to that famous statuary garden in Hong Kong, though. We're just going to go to a big storage room in the ship.
We all know that your powers work best in the open, which is why we should go to the lower decks.
And you've got to say,
Yeah?
I don't see why the ability to indiscriminately throw fire around works best in the open. Surely that's even more deadly in confined spaces.
No, but where the fire lands, Liam. Where the fire lands.
Yeah?
Where the fire lands.
Please finish that sentence.
Where it lands,
Everything changed when the fire lands attacked.
Exactly. When the fire lands, the land is changed to be on fire. Completely different in a confined space.
Mr. Joestar, I shall deal with him myself. Rest in peace, guy who played physical body of Darth Vader.
Aww.
Nick, are you excited for the 10 new Star Wars shows they're making?
I have a prepared statement.
Okay,
Sure.
great.
Yeah, I think a lot of them seem kind of cool.
I only know that, like, there's an Ahsoka one.
Yep.
And there's a Rogue Squadron one.
Yeah, which I'm very keen for.
And
If they don't fuck it
there's
up.
probably like an anime one, and there's probably one that's like, let's do Rebels again.
There's going to be a sitcom one.
More Clone Wars, probably. There's probably going to be one that's like, let's try to salvage the smoking wreckage of the sequel
sequels,
trilogy.
Yeah. Although none of them will want to come back for it because they're like,
you-
fuck
yeah.
working for Disney.
Oh, it'll be animated, of course. So that they just get sound-alikes.
Of course.
Nick,
Yes.
Mandalorian spoilers, a show I have not watched.
Oh no, I haven't seen season 2 yet.
Do you know Baby Yoda's name?
No.
Okay, it's out now, and it's something like Grongu, or Grongo.
What's wrong with that?
It's not a great name, let's be honest.
How is that not a great name?
Misa Grongu.
How
This
is...
is how I speak.
Look, how is a name like Jabba the Hutt better than Grongu the Baby Yoda? Like, come on. This is Star Wars. If you can get away with shit
Grongu,
like...
the adult Baby
Yeah,
Yoda.
like what about fucking Max Rebo? What's
We
the guy?
all stand
Modal-
Max Rebo.
Who's the modal nodes guy?
That's a band.
Yeah, but who's the guy?
Max Rebo.
No, the main guy from the modal nodes.
Isn't that Max Rebo?
No, it's another guy, isn't it? It's something like...
No one cares, let's be honest.
Anyway, you got the modal nodes, you got like...
Dexter Jetster.
You got Dexter Jexa, Zaphod Beeblebrock, Zillard Quates.
No. You're trying to
Darth Vader.
You're trying to gaslight me. The old double gaslight where you bring it back around and make it true.
Wait, can I triple this?
With enough layers of gaslighting, anything can be true.
Thanks. This is the JoJo's World Gaslight Paradox.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with that name. That's a pretty good name. Grongu?
Or Grogus? Or
Grogus?
it's something like that.
What's the name of the guy who owns Anakin in the first movie?
Watto.
Watto.
Of course, I would also argue that Sebulba owns Anakin at several points. And also Kitster.
Kitster Drifter?
No.
Okay.
Kitster's just like that fucking kid that hangs out with Anakin. It's like, gee, Annie, you sure do suck.
The kid who's all like, I'm gonna go over this way now, and Anakin's all like, I'm gonna follow you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Who else do we remember from the Tatooine sequence? There's that baby Rodian that in a deleted scene is revealed to be,
Watto's father.
Yep. No, shoots Han Solo.
Oh shit, is that him?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's his fucking
That's
name?
awesome.
My Star Wars mind is too poisoned by campaign RPG podcasts. All I can think is Lenik Gilo.
Hey, my name is Shootman Solo Han. That's actually not a bad name.
Yeah, it is.
Shootman Solo Han.
It's kind of Star Warsy.
Shootman Solo Han. Shootman Solo Han.
Oh my god, Nick. No, you shut up. Someone that I follow on Twitter recently posted excerpts of this really depressing Boba Fett book.
Depressing?
Yeah, it's like the excerpts about his sad life, and I've got to pull it up for you.
So I shot, and I missed, and then I shot,
No.
and I missed again. Good ref.
Even worse,
Good
Nick.
reference.
I don't know what that reference is.
Game Grumps. Good reference.
While I'm pulling this up, how do we feel about Sephiroth being in Smash Brothers?
I'm fine with it.
Great.
Yep. I mean, Cloud's already there, so,
Yep.
like...
He needed his best friend Sephiroth.
Exactly. He needed a hug from Sephiroth, you know? That's how that plot goes, yeah?
Yeah, as I understand it, they want to have
yeah.
sex with each other really
Yeah, they
bad.
really
If
wanna-
fan fiction has steered me accurately.
And if I believe correctly, it has to go so deep because Sephiroth...
Because of his long sword.
Because of his long sword, which obviously implies long depth.
Okay, the first line of this book.
Okay.
Chapter 1. Rain. Some hate it, some love it.
That's poetry right there. Jesus.
I'm a bounty hunter's son, he would say to himself proudly. The reason he had to say it to himself and to no one else was that he had no one else to say it to. Paragraph break. He had no friends.
Jesus Christ.
The librarian, WHRR,
Nice.
was almost like a friend Boba had never actually seen. Boba had no idea what whir looked like, or even if it was a person. Just a voice through a slot in the library door. In fact, Boba figured whir could be a droid, since he could hear him whirring and clicking when getting books or holo games.
Okay.
And finally, Camino is a good planet for feeling sad because it's always raining. When you've been in the rain, nobody can tell you've been crying.
Is this canonical Star Wars?
Probably not anymore.
Oh my god.
When Boba got back to the apartment, he saw that his father had been walking in the rain too.
Whoever wrote this.
Jango and Boba walking around Camino by themselves, crying.
No one can see you, Bubba.
Boba.
Let it out. Let it out.
The good thing about Camino is that when it's raining on the lower half of your face, it's also raining everywhere else. He had no friends.
He had no friends.
No friends, and he never would.
End of the book. Jesus Christ. What a depressing life to lead. But not as depressing as the fight in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OVA number 3.
A prediction. You yourself, Avdol, will destroy yourself with your own stand.
Pretty vain of you to say that. Hey, it's me, Cool Avdol.
And then their stands like posture at each other. Yeah, cool Avdol here is here.
The one who I'm still confused by.
What happened to your vaunted flame? Aren't you going to breathe fire? And then he breathes fire like, ha, I tricked you into breathing fire by telling you to do it.
His flames are cast to the ground.
He was waiting for Magician's Red to breathe fire. That's why he said he was waiting for it.
Oh shit, that's pretty smart.
He's coming for real this time, and everyone else hides behind a wooden box.
They're all like, I do not want to get hit by those flames.
We all remember Crossfire Hurricane. It doesn't work until it does.
Sawoosh, sawoosh. He shoots it, Polnareff goes flying back.
I really can't emphasize enough just how sort of like anemic the Cory is in this sequence.
It's like very soft.
It's very turn-based combat.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. It's like people didn't watch any fighting films to get the choreography for this, so there's no back and forth. It's just Polnareff talks, and then something happens with Silver Chariot, and then Avdol chimes in.
Shoots some fire, it gets deflected, it hits him, then he does it again, and he tries to deflect it again, but it doesn't work this time.
And it's just like, the action is always broken up by them being like, haha,
this time
and
will be different.
There's no movement because it's just
They're
a
just
static
standing
shot.
there like 2 meters from each other, like, but you'll never get close to me.
It's like two It's like two Magic the Gathering players who are just like...
It's like a game of Yu-Gi-Oh!
But instead of having the dynamic, like, you thought you could play this card, and then something happens that's like, oh shit, this changes the game, it's just them being there being like, haha.
Defense mode, attack mode.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, but this doesn't really... I mean, this isn't moving with what they're doing yet, because what they're doing is
His
not
stand
a card
has
game.
been melted, and he is unable to fight. Anyway, Mr. Joestar, how are we going to get to Egypt? No, look, he's in the sky, and he's clapping at us upside down.
How's he doing that? He exploded, didn't he? What? He can't possibly be clapping. He's clapping in the sky. He's upside down.
Buddy, you're a big boy. Make a big boy. Playing in the street, you're gonna be a big boy. Be a big boy.
Liam, are we going insane?
And we are Neil Cicerica.
Oh god, we're losing everything.
Why is he floating in midair? No, look with your special eyes.
Yeah, Polnareff literally says, no, look closer with your stand eyes or
Yeah.
something like that. And then we see he's being held in the air by Silver Chariot.
Probably he would maintain that ability in, say, 40 episodes' time when he, say, desperately needed his stand to pull him out of the path of an oncoming, all-devouring orb of void.
Yeah. But how could he possibly have seen it coming?
This is Silver Chariot without his armor.
He lands, Silver Chariot looks pretty neat.
Yep.
He's
You
got
see, you
skinny-
didn't blow up my stand. I just took off his armor. That's why I'm fine.
Oh, that explains everything. He starts flexing, stretching, and being all like, see, now I can move faster.
So
the
fast.
coolest animation I've ever seen.
Look at all these visual after images. They aren't just after images that will confuse your senses, but your physical senses too. And he cuts him. He does.
Yeah, I mean, he does technically do that. He, like, shoots forth some after images.
And he blows up a fire. He blows up an after image, which has its own, like, unique explosion animation. But it's like, but that was just an after image.
And then he gets cut. And
There's
it's
a
like...
couple of cuts on his face lines.
And Avdol's all like, oh,
We've never really talked about his face lines before, have we?
sure we have. Not here, of course. But I mean...
I guess they're
maybe.
a tattoo or something.
I assume so. Or just,
Veins.
yeah, veins or age marks.
So Avdol doesn't move at all after being cut. Gotta credit where it's due. That's...
And he got cut in unks.
And then he just starts talking. I've got special variation of the one attack I've been doing all fight, which the unks can split up into lots of little unks.
How does that... Okay, yep.
My stands have formed a perfect circle, and now they're attacking you. Oh no, but I actually kind of like it. I like it a bit more, this taking place in the ship. Like with what happens now, where the fire bursts out of the floor of the ship.
Yes.
Rather than just like the dirt
Through the
of
dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this makes slightly more sense because there's a pipe there.
Yeah.
But,
And they don't really like talk about the pipe. It's just like a nice little detail that they do.
yeah. But it's still a strange way of making the move happen
Well, Nick,
when you
because
don't see
as
it
we
coming.
know from a future Part 3 fight,
Yes.
when you burrow underground when your jacket's on fire, then you're fine.
Oh. You know?
You remember Wheel of Fortune?
You know, you had me in the first half, but now I remember when Jotaro did that thing. Still, what the fuck?
So he defeats...
Polnareff?
Yep.
Yep.
And does that thing where he throws him a knife, like, burning to death must be painful, why don't you just fucking kill yourself?
And Polnareff's about to, and then he goes...
Absol gets banned from Twitter just for telling Polnareff to kill himself.
And then Polnareff's all like, oh, I can't do it.
He goes to throw it, but then he doesn't.
And he's all like, you won. I'll just
think-
die here.
To think, and he's very eloquent and calm for a man who's burning to death. To think my swordplay could be defeated by mere flames. I shall burn to death gracefully, the most peaceful of deaths.
It's all pure agony.
You see, am I thinking of burning or freezing to death? That's like falling to sleep. Well, I'm experiencing one right now, and it seems fine, so it must be burning to death.
You know, I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs, so it must be fire that's calming to the soul.
And Avdol is touched and like, click, fire, go out. Much like how Polnareff clicked and the light went on.
That's writing.
His proud spirit goes beyond Dio's orders. This man who would adhere to a code that you might call chivalry.
Oh. Ooh, you might call it that. You also might call it utter stupidity.
If we let him die like this, we might regret it later. He's probably got a good reason to be an evil vampire assassin. Yes. Oh, look, the captains are here.
Oh my god, the captains.
Oh, hey, we're here to get killed by strength.
Oh, don't worry. We killed Polnareff, and they're like, oh great. We were worried about. Oh my god, a giant hook
So one gets a classic anime death where, like, a giant hook on a crane
comes down,
fucks him up in the head.
right through the head.
But then I really like this next attack where all the rivets on the hull,
You mean the bolts?
the rivets, Nick, the rivets,
Okay, all right. They're the rivets. They're the rivets, Liam.
turn into bullets and fire at them. And everyone dodges except for the other guy who gets two in the head.
And like one through the eye, one through the straight up skull.
Yeah.
And then he just keeps getting hit.
And good visual callback that Jotaro catches his. Like when he caught the bullet. That was cool. I genuinely
very
appreciate
neat.
that.
Yeah.
From this point on, this episode rules.
Yeah, from everything from this point on is fucking baller.
Yeah.
So he catches the thing. He drops
Catches
it on the ground.
And they're all brightly lit by the overhead lights. Drops it on the ground. It's like shaking with invisible force. Monkey comes through wall wearing its captain's outfit.
just like Jumanji.
That damned ape is here, stabbed you. Hang on a minute. What does that mean?
What do you mean?
How is this just like Jumanji?
What do you mean? How is this just like Jumanji? The 1998 film with Robin Williams
Yes.
and what's her face from Cheers / Frasier, and that guy, Mr. Sheffield from The Nanny.
It's almost certainly not him.
Pretty sure it's him. I'm pretty sure it's him. I think I know my nanny trivia.
Not your Jumanji trivia, though, evidently.
Uh-oh. Go on, find me Mr.
1995, for one thing.
95? Good lord.
But I wouldn't have guessed, so I'm no better than
4
you.
years old.
No, Van Pelt, who also plays the dad, is of course played by Jonathan Hyde, who you may know from his role as Dr. Alan someone in The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser.
But was he in The Nanny?
Was he in The Nanny? I don't think so. Would have been. It would almost certainly be one of his top IMDb roles.
Oh, shit. That's rough. That's
But Kirsten Dunst plays Judy.
correct. Yep, very young Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah. Bonnie Hunt plays Sarah Whittle. That's who you were thinking of.
Bonnie Hunt. Who's Bonnie Hunt?
This is our Jumanji podcast.
No, the lady from
Jumanjo's World.
No, the lady from Cheers / Frasier who plays Lilith in Cheers Frasier. Her. That one. Yeah. You know that one.
BB Neworth.
Yeah, her.
Right, and she's Nora Shepherd.
Yeah, she's
Who's
the
that
one
in
that
Jumanji?
she's the one that Robin Williams, adult man, come back from the jungle. He's all like, "Oh my god, we need to go out and do some stuff," and she's always like falling behind the pack trying to
that's
catch up
Sarah
with these
Whittle.
kids.
That's Sarah Whittle.
No, falling behind the kids because she's like the babysitter.
Wow, I don't remember that character at all.
Yeah, she gets caught up in like the vine trap and like the water splashes on her.
In the monsoon scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, Nick, I feel like you are deflecting from the question, how is the ape coming through the wall in a captain's outfit like Jumanji?
Well, you know, in Jumanji when he starts falling through the floor and the liquid floor is like.
So not that moment, but the moment that's also happening simultaneously where all the other non-Jotaro crusaders fall through the floor like it's mud.
Yes, that bit.
That's what you were talking about. This guy looks dope. He's got this big, sinister face.
No, hang
And
on.
I'm
We
not,
have to
I'm
talk.
not skipping
Thank you.
over
Thank
maybe
you.
the best part of the episode, where the spare bolt / rivet that Jotaro dropped on the floor floats through the air into Forever's hand, and then when he catches it,
It mutates
it transmogrifies
into a fucking wooden smoking pipe.
Yeah, and then he smokes it.
And it's like, you bastard.
That's right. I don't know if I like or dislike that they don't do the Jotaro assumes his internal monologue sequence.
Wait, what was the Jotaro assumes his
So
internal
you
monologue?
remember in manga / anime?
No.
There's the Crusaders are up on deck in another room while this is happening.
Okay.
And they are like sunking into the floor and stuff, but Anne, the runaway girl, and Jotaro, and I believe Anne is still just wearing a towel at this point.
Yep.
They confront the ape separately. And Jotaro, he gets like bound to the wall by like just random pipes and shit.
Yep.
And then he's like, "Oh, that smug smile, you're probably thinking, this whole ship is my..." And then like cuts to his dialogue, or what it would be. "This whole ship is my stand. You can't possibly match up to the power of my stand strength."
I do remember. True.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Oh, man. But it's fine.
He's smoking, he's smug, Everyone's like, Jotaro, the ship is the stand.
They're all sinking in the floor.
Look at that shot. He's got glinting evil anime eyes.
For an orang, for
He
an
looks like
orangutan, he
Gendo
looks-
Ikari.
Who's Gendo Ikari?
Gendo Ikari. Shinji's dad in Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yes, very much so. Who is that?
Pilot the Eva, Jotaro.
Oh, is he the guy who does this?
Yeah.
The crossed fingers
Yeah.
pose?
Yeah.
At the desk.
Yeah.
With his glasses and shit.
Yeah.
Ah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Whole bunch of floor shoots up and like entraps Jotaro. Oh no, Jotaro's been trapped in that ship chrysalis.
He does a little star finger ploy.
Well, because the ape walks up to it and smugly taps it like, this is good steel.
This is good audio as well, Liam. And he's all like, haha, you're stuck in there.
Then like punch dent and then star finger through it, hits him in the forehead.
He's all like, ah!
Falls back, but he's fine. He's fine. That's the killing blow for him in the anime, if I recall. Or at least it gets Jotaro free to start punching him real good. But then he's like, I'm fine. And that's his voice. And like lots of punch dents coming through the sheet metal, but then he does like a crushing motion.
And then he gets crushed.
Jotaro was getting crushed, and the ape gloats in the moment of his victory until, much like Sephiroth and Smash Bros. Villain Galeem in the latest Sephiroth trailer, his face is bisected in two from behind by the sword of Jean-Pierre Polnareff, who is elected to betray Dio and side with the Stardust Crusaders.
But for what reason?
He's got his reasons.
Yeah, sure.
And like falls in a pile of blood. And I really like Polnareff face turn kill forever from behind.
It's just a dope moment.
Yeah, it's good. It took me by surprise.
Yeah, it's good shit.
And he's there, like, covered in burns, and he looks a lot nicer now. Like,
lying on the ground.
He looks more like true Polnareff in his
he's
facial features.
He has, like, skin colour that isn't grey.
Yeah, he's lost that sinister smugness.
And he's just like, yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I
here
guess
for you.
I did a pretty good thing after all.
I'm here for you guys and not the other side. Trust me, even though I just defected.
The ship turns into a much smaller ship, much bigger than the one it turns into in the anime.
Yeah, it's still like a
regular
motorboat.
Day speedboat. Motorboat, yeah.
And they're all like, but will this get to shore or will it run out of fuel? We don't know.
And Polnareff is just there and they're talking about him like a meter away. Like, to think that he would side with us. Really something. And with all those burn marks.
He healed so quickly. He must be determined to do something.
He must have a reason.
And then he turns around.
Monsieur Jostar.
I do have a raison. Oh, did you hear it? Or what we were saying?
You're
just now?
wearing gloves. Is your left hand a right hand? And they're all like, Polnareff, gloves don't change your handedness.
And Polnareff's all like, don't be silly. Show me your hand.
Well, it's a robot hand. Oh, okay, I understand. Certainly you couldn't have had a right robot hand that you cut off and replaced with a left hand.
Impossible. It's still got the hole through it from the fight before.
I'm looking for a man who killed my sister. Flashback to her and her classmate walking home. It's all sepia. It's that thing where the rain doesn't touch him. That
the rain
still doesn't make any sense.
It never shows up ever again.
And in this depiction of it, he just cuts her head off.
Just straight up.
Yeah, and we see her bleeding stump as she's still standing up in the
Oh, no,
class.
that's the classmate, isn't it?
Why would it be the classmate?
Because he kills the classmate, then kills.
No, the
Polnareff's
classmate
sister.
is the one who tells Polnareff about this. He wasn't there.
Oh, that makes some sense. I thought they both died, but all right.
I don't know his face, but I know he has two right hands.
The old classic.
For the sake of my sister's soul, I will make him atone with his death.
He's getting all teary-eyed.
A year ago, I met Dio, and Dio was like, I can help you find this man.
Just join me.
Join me and kill the Stardust Crusaders. And Dio was like, okay, I'll do that of my free will.
And then they were all like, oh, wow, that is a bad deal. He's like, it was a bad deal.
They're like, so that means Dio knows this man. And Polnareff's like, what? Right?
I mean, maybe.
That's what happens.
Avdol also knew the man.
No, he didn't.
Oh, no, Dio knows the hanged man.
Yeah. Oh. And Polnareff freaks out. And then he's just like, I'm going to go with you guys and maybe I'll meet some hot babes along the way. Aha. Bon merci. And everyone's like, oh, this guy's personality just entirely
Completely
changed.
He's gone from merci beaucoup to merci
No
oh
coup.
you.
Yeah, I'd rate both our jokes on that equally. Neither of them well.
But still existing.
Yeah. I thought he was a man filled with chivalry, but now I'm not so sure.
Oh, Avdol.
Yare. Meanwhile, with Dio and Enya.
Hot Enya.
Yeah. Hot. uncut Enya.
Hot, uncut
The
Enya.
adults only X-rated Enya.
Ooh, she's wearing clothing.
And she's somehow tracking what they're doing through magic.
Big boys, you want to go to the store and live a
Strength.
financially safe life?
So useless. And the chariot betrayed us. But all the cards. We hold all the cards, Dio. You can tell from how I'm holding all these cards.
They're all tarot cards.
Even if all those useless worms defect, my son, who has 2 right hands like me, shall overcome them.
That's a plot twist.
Yeah.
Hot Enya has plot twists.
The hangman's right hands will take care of them. My
That is
son.
weird. Yeah.
What a strange... Dio's like, what a strange turn of speech. And he is my precious son, and his name is J. Guile. And Dio's like, I know all this, why are you telling me?
Because I am Enya. Enya, sit the fuck down.
Enya's position.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Why did I hire you?
Because you're so damn hot.
You didn't hire me.
I quit.
Wait, no, come back.
And
Wait,
that's
come back.
the end.
Boom.
Nick, highlights and lowlights.
Oh my god. Okay. Group highlight.
Group highlight.
Whoop transmogrify.
The bolt turning into the pipe
my
was
God.
quite a moment. If you're taking that, I've got to take surprise cut from behind.
Yeah, fair enough.
These are easily the 2 top moments of this or any show.
Because they also signify the turnaround of the episode where it's like, oh shit, what? And then we have a really good
Yeah,
bit.
so I really liked the strength thing in this episode, but I really didn't like the Silver Chariot thing in this episode. And that's my highlight and lowlight, baby.
My low light would probably just have to be the 2 captain and co-captain crashing the plane in the ocean.
It's not their fault.
No,
the
no, no.
engine exploded.
Crashing in the ocean and then just doing nothing and then dying.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like, well, they could have just died.
They did that with the survivors of the ship.
That's also true. I guess so. Oh, I guess so. These are all good points, I suppose. But it's still just like, and they died.
In a vacuum, still a valid low light.
Also, another highlight. All right, guys, we need to investigate the ship.
Yeah. Also, another highlight: no sexual predation from the ape.
No potential pedophilia.
Yeah.
Always a good start. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
This is to my mind the definitive version of the strength fight. For the high reasons in our highlights and lowlights combined.
now question. Are we doing another OVA?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay.
That one, Nick, of course, is entitled...
Welcome to the showdown. We got Polnareff. Oh my god, that worked.
No, it doesn't.
Welcome to the showdown. We got Polnareff.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Welcome to the showdown.
Yeah, I know what you're
we
doing.
We got Polnareff.
It's not good.
Jodoroku Joe is here, and so is Joseph Joe. Star.
Nice artful voice break
I was so
there,
close.
Nick.
I was so close.
This is a spicy meatball.
What evidence do you have?
The next episode, The Emperor and the Hanged Man.
Well, that was fucking
Yeah.
fast.
It's quite fast in the anime too, of course, but not this fast.
No, nowhere near this fast.
Because of course we're skipping Yellow Temperance, we're skipping Ebony Devil,
Yep.
we're skipping the Wheel of Fortune, I think.
Yep. Ooh, are we?
It's around then, and still with them.
Yeah. But anyway, Jesus, we're getting this out of the way very quickly.
Yeah. Just going straight to India to fulfill his revenge quest in the very next episode.
Fucking hell, okay. Well, that's going to be
So
weird.
what do we expect to happen?
Okay, well, obviously he's going to go to India. He's
Yep.
going to be all like, why is this toilet weird?
Yeah, that pig is going to be in it.
Yep. And then,
Avdol will die, quote
Yep.
unquote.
yep. He'll...
And then Avdol will probably come back in like the very next episode.
Yep. So Emperor was the Hanged Man's stand.
No.
No.
No, the
Who's-
Hanged Man is a stand, Nick.
Sorry. Who's the Emperor?
Whole Horse.
Wait, Whole Horse is... I thought Whole...
His gun, the Emperor.
Oh.
We all love Whole Horse.
This is going to be a great time.
Yeah.
So we're getting a Whole Horse and the Hanged Man.
I have a prediction, Nick.
Go on. It won't be as good.
I wasn't going to say that.
Ooh.
You can't prove I was going to.
I can't yet.
I predict that after Jay Guile dies,
Yep.
Hot Enya will take the role of the Empress, who is the hot babe that Polnareff gets attracted to, hangs out with Whole Horse for a while, and then puts the wart on Joseph's arm.
Okay, I can see that.
Because she looks like that character.
She really does. Maria, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Mariah?
No, Mariah was Magnets and homophobia.
I see. Yeah, I can feel either one of them. Yeah, okay. That's a pretty good, like, take on predictions.
Take on
Predictions.
predictions. Let's wrap it up.
Okay. If you've enjoyed this episode, you can follow Liam, I guess.
If you enjoyed this episode, good for you.
I mean, great. You
You
already
might
know
want to
where to get it.
consider raising your standards.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair point. You can follow us at Jojo's Podcast on Twitter or Instagram or Stitcher or the internet.
Spotify.
Wait, we're on Spotify?
Hell yeah.
Oh, fuck yes. Actually, I already knew that. I don't know why I was surprised by that.
And until next time,
To be continued.
やれやれだぜ。